The Man Whore podcast is sponsored by Alt Playground. APG is more than just a place to find couples to swap with. Alt Playground is a lifestyle community for all non-monogamous and sexually adventurous people to connect and share. And you know I started a profile. Join me over at altplayground.net. That's A-L-T playground.net. HotMovies.com has long been an ethical and affordable place to hashtag pay for some of your porn. Now with Hot Movies Select, customers gain access to unlimited viewings of tens of thousands of additional films from all their favorite studios for the low price of $24.95. Visit HotMovies.com, click Select Unlimited, and use promo code MANWHORE at checkout so they know who sent you. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Shout out to the fuck dolls, to the boy toys, and to the agendered action figures. This is Billy Procida, and you are listening to the Man Whore Podcast. It's finally here. Gloryhole cast, everybody. Wow, it's here. It's finally here. I'm so excited. We actually have one, everybody. A real live Gloryhole lady who we can finally ask the question, why? I'm very excited to share Emma with y'all in a little bit. So excited. I'm going to try to keep this upcoming bit to just a little bit so we can get to the bigger, longer bit that, oh gosh, y'all, I know y'all want to hear, including an extra teensy-tiny little bit at the very end if you stick around. But first, a little point of business, folks. ManWhoreCon 2021. It's happening. It's coming up this August. Maybe early September, most likely August. I will know very soon. So I want you to save the dates. Take your phone out. Take out your iCal, your GCal, your Post-it notes, whatever it is you put dates on. Save this date, April 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be streaming a informational session. I'll be sharing my plans for ManWhoreCon this year, where it's going to be, how much it could cost. And it'll also be an opportunity for you to ask any and all the questions you could possibly have about this awesome, wonderful annual event for the fan whores. So again, that is April 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to not miss that, get on my mailing list at manwhorepod.com. Or if you are part of our Patreon community, there will be plenty of updates over there. So just make sure your Patreon notifications are turned on. I got a really sweet email about last week's episode with Peggy Orenstein. I wanted to share with y'all. This listener, Shelly, she writes, Dear Billy, for someone who calls himself a man whore, your interview with Peggy Orenstein revealed a sensitive, open, aware, clearly feminist man who frankly is a lot more tuned into his feelings than a majority of the men and a fair number of women I know. I know Peggy peripherally through friends, and I'm aware of her many groundbreaking books and their cultural importance. Now, as someone who made it through the free love era relatively unscathed in retrospect, I was able to see that it was a playground for men, and for women like myself, more of a minefield. The sum total of nearly a decade of casual sex was the realization that because of my own inability to state my needs and desires, thanks in part to being young and uncertain of myself and meeting men who recoiled at the mention of anything even approaching a feeling, I had learned very little about my own sexuality, and that much of what I had done was performative. Very late in the game, I turned 71 this month. I have full agency and still have the desire to connect with men in affectionate and sexual ways. Yeah, girl, get it. And because I am now very proactive on my own behalf, I am very sanguine about what life after COVID may have in store for me. And I even learned something from what you said about saving PVI for a second or third sexual encounter. Frankly, I've long wanted that, but never knew how to ask for it. Clearly, you just ask. Thank you for that, and for an important, thoughtful podcast. Best regards, Shelly. Fuck yeah, Shelly, 71, listening to this show, still learning new things. Folks, it's never too late to learn new tricks. If you want to send me an email, by the way, you can always send your comments, your questions, your criticisms all on over to manwhorepod@gmail.com. I used to say send your comments, questions, and titty pictures, but now, you can send your titty pictures over to my OnlyFans. Hey, yo. Did you know that? I've got the OnlyFans, the fans only, the Pelosi fans, the lonely mans, whatever you like to call it. I am shaking the tookus on a free page, folks. It's free to follow. Head on over to onlyfans.com/callmebilly. I also, not to toot my own horn, but I think I do one hell of a boyfriend experience. Don't ask my exes about that. But if it's if it's like a digital financial situation, apparently I'm a phenomenal internet boyfriend. Emma is a gal who has visited my Gloryhole repeatedly. I answered her ad on Reddit looking for a Gloryhole. As many of y'all know, I up until last week had a Gloryhole in my apartment. So I was like, hey, come on over. And she said, hell yeah. And then she came back again and then again. And then I asked if she'd want to do this podcast. I had in my mind a Gloryhole podcast idea. And I was like, let's do the whole thing. We'll have the curtain up. We'll be separated by it. We still won't know what each other look like. We'll have a whole ass conversation and then we'll pull the curtain back. We'll do a reveal on mic. She was very sweet. She was like, well, could I suck your dick like one more time through the Gloryhole, like before we start? Cause I'd like to blow you one more time as a stranger. Gotta love that. So we did the whole shebang, everybody. The whole experience is right here. I propped the doors open. I set the mood lighting. She came in. I received a fabulous blowjob. And then we did that. We did the Gloryhole. We did the Gloryhole cast. And then we did a Gloryhole reveal. I think this episode goes back to the roots of this podcast, talking to regular, everyday, extraordinary, special, wild, crazy, cool women who, make the interesting decision to put my dick in their mouth at some point. So I hope you all enjoy this. I enjoyed it. By the way, this is the first time I've had a conversation with Emma outside of, texting. I did not know what she looked like. I actually didn't even know her real name until she was sitting there on mic. She did not know anything about me other than that my name was Billy, and she had seen some of my Reddit posts, but she did not see my picture. She didn't know what I looked like. She didn't even know the name of this podcast. When I said, do you want to do the podcast? She was like, sure. I was like, do you know what the name of my podcast is? She's like, no idea. I said, fucking perfect. This is a cool one, everybody. I'm going to shut my face. I'm going to do a couple ad reads. And then, Gloryhole Cast. The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by altplayground.net, the lifestyle site to go for your next non-monogamous, vaccinated adventure. Seriously, folks, get your shots, okay, people? I know some of you older swinger folks can be skeptical, but get your damn shots. Don't give sluts a bad name by being the swinger party that created some perverted mutant strain of COVID that turns everyone into piss play addicts. Don't be that guy. Get your shots so we can go back to orgies like the old times. Okay. Don't be that guy or gal or NB or person or any of the gender and sexual orientations offered by APG to help you best describe yourself to faces you want to sit on. Orgies are slowly returning, and Alt Playground has an entire section devoted to local events wherever you are. Except I don't think Australians or Canadians can join yet. And I'm sorry. But come on over and join a good old-fashioned American fun at altplayground.net. That's ALT playground.net. By now you know all about our sponsor, hotmovies.com. You know it has porn for everybody, from everybody, doing just about everything, including glory holes, yes. And Hot Movies pay per minute model offers an affordable and flexible way to pay for your porn. But now, hotmovies.com has a solution for the high volume viewer, the extra masturbator, the person who buys and burns through minutes like they're Coke Zeros in my fridge. Hot Movies Select Unlimited is the new subscription service that lets you have unlimited access and unlimited replays to over 160,000 curated titles. So sign up today for Select Unlimited at the top of the site to sign up and use promo code MANWHORE for a little sign up bonus. And so they know who sent you. Hotmovies.com, promo code MANWHORE. Now let's get to the show.
Well, how about you hit that light over there,
Okay.
and then you're going to pull the chair up alongside the curtain, and I'm going to put clothes on.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Thank you.
No problem. Oh, it's like an actual microphone.
Oh yeah, this is like a real podcast. People listen to it.
Okay.
It exists. It's not a weird pervy pet project. I don't think my roommate realized when she moved in that this was like actually my job. But hello, so real quick. Hi, I'm Billy.
I think I already knew your name because of Reddit.
What is your name?
My name is.
And what should we be calling you?
I'm thinking of like the most basic name ever. I don't know, like Emma or Jennifer.
Emma or Jennifer. I will call you I'll try to call you both over the course of the next bit of time. Hey everyone, I can't see my guest for the first time ever.
Hello.
So hello Emma/Jennifer.
I find it hilarious. I'm sorry.
Look, we all think that this is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous when anyone wants to blow me. And yet you want to do so repeatedly in a very anonymous fashion. This is my first Gloryhole cast. Is what I think I'm calling it.
Well, hopefully you have many more guests.
I've shared the story of what happened a few weeks back. I think I said it on the show, and I also shared it in our Discord server on our Sexual Achievement Sunday thread.
Oh, you even have a Discord. Okay.
I told you this is like a real show. It's totally legit. See, there's a poster in front of you.
Yeah, I keep seeing, like, when I came in, I kept seeing these posters, and I'm like, he's a big fan of something.
Oh, so you didn't even think this was my show. You thought this was me being a fan of something called Man Whore Podcast.
Probably, like, because I wanted to keep the whole anonymous thing going on. I was just like, I dissociated you with like everything around you. So I was like, he's probably a big fan.
Well, do you want to? So this was really fun. I actually solicited questions from my listeners recently, and one of them was like, "What did she think when she saw your ad?" And I was like, "Oh, interesting. You assumed it was my ad."
I forget that it was my ad. I was just like on a trip. I don't even know. Like,
yeah. So do you want to try to delve back? I found your post on Reddit, and you were seeking a glory hole. Yeah.
Because like, so this whole quarantine, like, I've been outside the country, so like, I was living with my parents, so of course I was like very pent up, and COVID, and like, you can't really go out because you don't really know who's like safe or not, especially where I went, and because everyone there was like all out about COVID didn't exist. So I was very pent up because I didn't want to like deal with anyone who could have COVID and like infect my family. So when I came back to the States, I was just like, well, people here are taking it a bit more seriously, and the CDC recommends glory holes, and I've always been curious about it.
If there were ever a time, right?
Yeah. And everyone, like, I got a lot of posts like, oh, you can go to this place, and I'm like, ew, no. I don't know, like, what diseases are there?
Well, what places were people recommending? Like adult bookstores?
Yes, adult bookstores, video stores, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, because they have these little booths. Have you ever been like been to or seen any of these?
I've been to like sex shops, but I've never like seen the booth.
Oh, the booths, they're fucking weird. It's like this old technology. It's weird. You walk into any adult bookstore that's not like a feminist owned like sex toy shop. It feels like you just went back in time. Like they still have booths where you can see a live woman like dance and strip, and it's only like $20 to get her to start.
Wait, really?
right? Like they're these video booths, and they're like they basically have like a screen and a lot of buttons, and you put like some money in, and you pick really any button. There's no way to tell what you're picking. That's the other part. You might be getting gay porn, you might get trans porn, you might get like straight porn, you might get kinky stuff. You don't know. You kind of just roll the dice and you take what's given to you.
Wow, that is. That's impressive to know.
And in these booths, there are glory holes, like in between the video booths. So the way that the shop makes money is they don't think as many people are trying to watch the porn on the booth as much as it's kind of like a rental fee to utilize the glory hole.
Oh, yeah, because a lot of people kept telling me, like, oh, if you, like, go in, you don't have to pay anything. And I was just like, girls go in free. And I was like, huh? Like, what? And they're like, yeah, because random people will, like, stick their dick in. And I'm just like, I don't vibe with that. Because,
Well, so what was the difference for you to blow an anonymous stranger at an adult bookstore and coming to a stranger's apartment in Bushwick?
Because it's just one person, and like I kind of like can ask you stuff like, oh, have you gotten tested? Which we did talk about, and you said you were because of your job. Because I'm very like conscious about that because STDs and STIs are no-goes for me. I guess for anyone really.
Well, yeah, I don't think anyone's going out there seeking to get an STI,
yeah.
but you know, the other thing is, you know, a lot of people I think use testing, like with COVID, they try to use testing as a way of prevention when they don't realize, no, that's just how you find out if you fucked up. Like you're still supposed to do safer practices. But if someone's getting tested regularly, I think that's a good sign that they're conscious of their sexual health.
That was a big factor for me. And also like in those glory holes, you don't know, I would assume there's a large volume of people who want to get blown. And I was just like, I haven't like had any sexual interactions in like a year. I don't want to like, get overwhelmed and then just like go on another dry spell again because I'm going to be like turned off by all that. Yeah,
well, that was one question somebody asked was, you came to the glory hole 3 times before today. Why'd you keep coming back to me in this one? Why not seek other cocks for the same experience?
Because again, you're safe. You're like a safe bet. I knew you were going to be clean.
Okay.
And also, I got like school started. The semester started again. So I don't really have time.
Oh gosh, how old are you?
I'll ask you how old you think I am when we see each other.
I thought you were closer to my age. So when you say school, do you mean grad school?
No.
Oh, damn. Okay. You do mean...
Just know that I took a year off. So I'm a little older than...
Okay, so but like you are an adult human.
Yes, I'm over 18.
Thank the God.
I've been over 18 for a while.
I don't know why, because normally I ask, especially because I had one regular who she was 19 but we spoke on the phone and she had like she had a young sounding voice. I had to get like a third party friend to do a video chat with her to like have her hold up her license and like really confirm this for me.
Send my license to your friend on Instagram.
Oh, I did that with you too. Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, that's fine. I remember like I was on the subway here and you were like, oh yeah, send this friend, like this is her Instagram, like yada yada. And I was just like, cool, let's see if the photo sends because I'm on the subway. And then I think I accidentally sent your friend like a ton of tattoo posts on Instagram because I confused her with my cousin because they had the same name and I was like, shit. And I had to delete all of them. And I was like, shit, I'm so sorry.
Well, so what was your, so you said that you haven't had like any interaction during COVID. So am I still the only dick you've played with thus far?
No.
Good for you. I'd be so disappointed because it's
I got the vaccine. And
oh, me too.
I was just like, yeah, I have the second dose. So, I usually like having friends with benefits instead of hookups because, it's easier.
What's the difference to you?
Hookups are like a one-time thing.
This must be a generational thing. We call those one-night stands.
I mean,
this is so strange.
For us, it's like kind of interchangeable, a one-night stand with a hookup. Friends with benefits for me is like seeing someone continuously for sex.
I don't like one night stands myself unless it's really, really interesting. Like, I don't know. Like, if it involves a glory hole, I'm open to a one night stand, for example. Whereas in like, I otherwise enjoy having like friends with like benefits. But the thing is, it's not just friends with benefits. Like, I mean the friends part. Like, I have very deep, strong friendship ties with certain people who I also sometimes fuck around with, and sometimes we don't. It's like, for me, a regular, really good quality friend with benefits, the benefits part is such a side part to me. Like, I really want to be tight with someone. Whereas then I've also had these just like casual fuck buddy types who
I think
don't know, the terminology.
fuck buddies would be more like the better terminology. Our generation, like I haven't heard like anyone in their 20s as well just like be like, oh yeah, my fuck buddy. Did you like, oh, my friends with bennies, or like, oh yeah, I hooked up with this person, but fuck, I haven't heard fuck buddies in a long ass time. Like,
oh, this again, is this like side parts and skinny jeans? Am I just like not getting the updates on life? But
okay,
and how was that second sexual encounter? Like it lasted 6 hours long. I imagine it was a positive experience.
it was a positive. Oh my god. He threw me against the wall. We almost broke the window.
Holy shit! Sex with you is
great.
dangerous. We almost. Well, I mean, it was more my fault, but I almost tore down the whole Gloryhole rig.
It's good because since I was on top, I could like hold it open. Cause I saw it falling in slow mo, and I was like, I gotta pick it up. Gotta keep the anonymity.
So I think I described this when I told you all the story, everybody. But like when she was on top of me, I had this panic moment of, oh no, the hole is positioned where like we might see each other. So I tried to shove the curtain over to the regular black curtains next to it because I was like, then we'll be fine. But I accidentally pulled too hard and the whole thing fucking fell down. Now because I was a little stoned. I panicked.
You don't say.
You don't say. I threw the black curtain over my face.
I saw that. Okay, so like I could see your chest, and I could see your chest through the hole.
Yeah.
And I just see like something black go over your chest, and I was like, "What did he like? Did he throw his sweatpants over himself?" Like,
and so like the whole time. You kind of kept going, so I just assumed like things were okay, but like I couldn't picture what was going. I thought everything came all the way down. So when you left, and when I finally allowed myself to have vision again, I looked and I was like, and I just like kind of pictured in my head, you must have like been on top of me, had your hand up in the air, caught it, be like, this ain't gonna get in my way, and then you just like held it up. I was impressed how intact everything was.
It's kind of how it went, but also I had to like this curtain you have,
yeah.
I had it on my shower. My shower rod used to always fall. And I would get so pissed because I'd just be like washing my hair and then I just hear a clang and it'd be the rod. And I'd just be like, what the hell? So I got good at like catching the rod.
It was definitely good catch reflex. I will say. I was very impressed. So in college, you've been, like, have you been very experimental, or is doing something like this way outside of what you would do?
It's a little way out of what I would do. Usually, like, I know I'm kind of kinky, but I kind of keep it low key.
So adorable when college kids think they're kinky, right? Right, everybody? They'll be like,
okay, so it's kinky for you.
I have one pair of handcuffs and maybe a flogger. Look at me. I'll be like, that's so cute. That's adorable.
Okay, so what's like kinky for you?
Well, I'm not, okay, so this is an often debate. I don't view myself as kinky, but this is partially because I still attach the word kink to BDSM so tightly. I know that's incorrect, but like in my mind, I hear kink, I think whips and chains, I think, Dom sub.
Rihanna?
Yeah, I think Dom sub dynamics. I think all the BDSM stuff, and I don't think like, no, kink is just doing a lot of things that's outside the norm. So if I make a regular use out of, say, a glory hole or some sort of other wild thing, or if I did a lot of sex in public, a lot of people would call that kinky. I guess I'm kinky. I just don't like, it's not like part of my identity. Sometimes you can confuse that with like a fetish, and I don't know that I have like a fetish. I just like doing fun
like
things.
The most adventurous thing I've done is I had an ex tie me up, pour wax on me.
Oh, nice.
And blind and gag me. So I think I'm pretty kinky.
I think you did well. Yeah. Look who put his foot in his mouth, everybody. Look at that. I'm sure people are cheering you on. They're like, that's what happens when Billy condescends to a young person.
Yes.
Eventually she's going to show him up. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Did the wax scene go okay? Because especially when you're newer to stuff like that, the wax is something that's easy to like fuck up.
Depends
and hurt somebody.
Depends on the, like, I tell him like, do it a little higher. Mm-hmm. Because, like, he did it really close and it was burning me.
Close to what?
Like, it's close to my body.
Like he's holding the flame close to the body.
Yeah, like, the candle way too close to my body. And I was like, you need to let it drip from a higher place. And he was nervous. I was just like, I was the kinky one in that relationship. And he was just like, he wanted to try. We were supposedly both virgins. Mm-hmm. So I was the one who,
What do you mean supposedly both virgins?
I got, like, information later on that he lost his virginity way earlier than I did.
it's so strange because normally one does not lie, especially if you're a dude. You don't usually lie to be a virgin. It's almost seen as a liability, which it shouldn't be.
With these hookups too, like in college, like I remember I told a guy, he ghosted me. I was like, I'm a virgin. Like if I have sex, like penetrative sex, like I want to warm up to it, you know? And he ghosted me. He was like, that's too much. Like you need to find someone special. And I was just like, I mean, I wasn't gonna give it to you soon, but okay.
And so were you like emotionally invested in the guy who lied about being a virgin? I'm just trying to see his motivation for lying about being a virgin.
He was my best friend for like 5 years, and then we started dating. And so
he probably wanted to keep it special and make it more special for you, probably.
Probably, yeah. So the weird thing is though, like we would talk about like our previous experiences because I'm very open to that. I'm just like, I'm not very jealous. I'm very confident in who I am and in my relationship.
Okay.
So like I'm not jealous. I like if a guy is like telling me about his like other experiences, I'm like, cool. Do you want to try that like in our relationship? Like I'm open to that. But he was just like, he'd tell me like, oh yeah, this girl blew me in a movie theater, and I was like, cool. Why are you lying about like being we were very open. So a mutual friend was the one who told me on my last birthday, by the way. That was a great birthday present.
How'd you respond to that?
I had a depression session.
Oh, why? Why would that upset you? I mean, like I understand it's not great to be lied to, but you know, I wouldn't let that fuck me up too much. Because
there's like a lot of sexual abuse in that relationship.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It was like emotionally abusive, sexually abusive. I have therapy. We're good.
Okay.
We're Gucci. So like in my head, like him being a virgin was like, okay, you know what? Like maybe he didn't know that everything was wrong. Don't excuse sexual abuse, guys. Like notice a symptom. It's never your fault. If I learned anything in therapy. But yeah, when he told me like, oh no, he's not a virgin, I was just like, so he knew what he was doing and he knew like the effect it had. I was just like, depression session.
So as someone who has experienced that before, what was it like to go and do something that many people consider incredibly risky, which is going into a strange man's apartment? I don't mean strange just that you don't know me, but come on, let's all be real. Everyone listening knows I'm a little strange.
Should I leave right now? Like,
no,
should I be concerned now?
I'm a safe kind of strange. No, but just I think a lot of people have a lot of really interesting fantasies that would involve the concept of anonymity, of a true stranger, stuff like that. But a very frequent concern is, what about safety? So before we get into safety talk, just how were you feeling? Like, was that a concern of yours? That I might be a violent person?
Dude, always. I always have escape plans. Like,
what was your escape plan?
I texted 2 friends with my address, and I was just like, if I die, if I don't answer you in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm good. Like, I'm dead. Send the cops after me. Like, I send them my live location. I send them like the address. I send them like everything. Like, I'm like, I found him on Reddit. This is his link. And I was just like, if I don't answer you in 20 minutes, I'm dead. Call the cops.
And good job, dude. That's smart slutty behavior right there. That's exactly what I tell people to do. I'm like, if you want to do something like this, you send it to at least 1 or 2 friends, and that way somebody knows where to send the cops, right?
Oh, I'll always send like one friend who's here and then another friend who's like outside the state.
Yeah, because you can't always prevent violence, but you can ensure justice.
Yeah,
right? Like, you can turn your friend into Batman.
Yeah, exactly. I know which friends to send it to. Like I'll have a friend who if I tell her 20 minutes and I don't answer her in 20 minutes, she'll call me.
Good.
And she won't stop calling me until I answer or like text her back like, yo, I'm fine. I'm like in the middle of like topping this guy.
Yo, I got a dick in my mouth. Can you text me back later?
Yeah.
Wait, you were topping some dude?
I mean, we were like having a break, so I wasn't really topping him, but.
Well, I was just saying, are you a dominant lady?
Sometimes I like to consider myself a switch. If the mood strikes, I am dominant. I'll be like, do this, that. Mostly I'm submissive, but there are days where I'm just like, I wake up and I feel like a bad bitch and I'm like, you know what?
Where does you sound incredibly sex positive and informed, on in consent culture, something like you're throwing out all the buzzwords. Where do you get this education from?
Online, Tumblr.
Nothing wrong with that. You don't have to laugh. You're not the only
No,
one.
it's
We don't teach it in
hilarious.
schools.
No, it's hilarious because like, so I come from Latin America, which is like a very conservative country. I lived there for 9 years.
You're like, as in you were born there and then you came here, or that's
No,
just,
I
okay.
moved there when I was like in 4th grade or something. Like
Okay.
4th, 5th grade. And so I had most of my sex education, puberty, all that in Mexico. So Latin America, sorry. And yeah, my sister gave me like a puberty book, and that was all the sex education I had. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna research this because this seems interesting. Like, I don't know. Tumblr. There was this girl who uploaded this PowerPoint presentation called The Sin Commandments. I learned everything from there. How to take a nude.
The Sin Commandments?
Yes.
What were the Sin Commandments?
So they're like, for nudes, for example, I remember like nudes perfectly. Like, never oversaturate them. Like, don't add weird selfies. Always do them in a neutral background. Nothing that can be like traced to you. If you have birthmarks, tattoos, anything that like scars that can be traced back to you. Yeah.
Are y'all
identifiable.
taking notes? Y'all better have a fucking pen out.
Yeah. If you have anything identifiable on your body, cover that up or like Photoshop it out. When you take a nude, turn your phone onto airplane mode so it doesn't save your location or like the information behind it, because apparently people can track that.
Wow, we have such different uses for airplane mode. Because when last night I was like shooting a piece of content for my OnlyFans, and it was
Oh, you have an OnlyFans? Damn, I'm learning a lot about you today.
yeah, lady, there's much to learn.
You're more than a dick on a glory hole. What? You're human.
So like I'm taking this. I know it's going to be a long video, and.
I talk a lot. Don't worry. I love talking.
The video, I was just on the airplane mode. I was like, I know it's going to be a long video. I use airplane mode so no one calls and like stops the video from being shot.
Ooh.
Because then they fuck up the thing, and then I got to redo it, or I got to piece it together.
Yeah. Wow.
You don't want your aunt to fuck up, your good nude
Your Aunt
shot.
Patricia to like fuck up your good.
Yeah, she's just trying to like, see how you're doing, and you're like, yo, I'm trying to make money with my dick. Can you call back later?
Dude. I can't. Like, all my friends are like, I'm gonna open an OnlyFans with my feet.
No,
and I'm
they're
just
not.
like-
No, they're not. None of them are.
I know.
One might. None of them are. So many people have just go like, I'm gonna start this. No, you're not. Tell me when you do. How's
I was
that?
just like, I tell them like, whenever you open an OnlyFans, like I'll open an account, I'll be your first subscriber. I do not give a shit. like in my head, back of my head, I'm like, I should do OnlyFans. That is a good way to make money. But then I'm like, no, because I have to be a content creator and I have to take pictures and I have to like promote it. Yeah, no, my 300 Instagram subscribers, I think like 2 of them would subscribe.
Were there any other safety measures you took besides just letting people know your location?
Not really.
That's okay.
I mean, I kind of like, I went through a Reddit like to make sure you weren't a creep.
Okay.
So that was a vetting process.
That's weird because if you go through my Reddit, I feel like you would only think I'm a creep.
No, you seem like a normal guy. Like I am so dumb. You kept mentioning this podcast, and I was just like, oh, he's a big fan. Again, he's a big fan of this podcast. I never made the association that you were the creator of it and the owner of it. I'm just like, wow, he's a really big fan. And I kept seeing like your posts, and I was like, well, he likes sex. He likes oral. Like, let's go, man. I swear, I drink a little bit too much dumb bitch juice. So.
And you seem to be very sexually adventurous for a young person. Would you do something like this again? Would it be more glory holes? Are there other fantasies that involve stranger play that you, in theory, would want to tap into?
I think like I do want to try more glory holes. This was a fun experience. The whole anonymity thing. God, I sound like Nemo. The whole anonymity thing is kind of a turn on for me because like you don't know who's on the other side. It's kind of like it was my first experience. I think I fucked up a little with you, but
How'd you fuck up a little with me?
Because I sent you pictures.
Honestly, I don't even like. I vaguely remember the event occurring, but because I swiped away so quickly, I don't even remember what it looked like. So by the time you got here,
I think I sent you like nudes. It's fine. There wasn't my face in it.
Right, you did. Well, even then, I still don't even want to
do that. Yeah,
know that. But I covered it fast enough. I was the kid who like growing up when I was reading like
Fanfic?
When I was reading fiction, I would always have to and I could tell it was at the end of a chapter, my eyes are wandering, so I always would have to cover with my hand the other page. Otherwise, I might see what's happening before I actually read to it. I don't want to know who the murderer is until I'm actually getting there.
Oh my god!
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No.
So I just as soon as those pictures came in, I threw my hand over the phone. I think I just started sending you random messages to bump it up.
I think you did. I don't remember. I was just you were please no pictures, and I was oh shit, I fucked up.
So did you say yes? You would do more glory holes?
Yeah, I'd be open to it.
So based on this experience, what would you look for in a glory hole?
Not being a public place for once, because another big thing too is making sure there's not cameras. And I was very thankful you had all the lights on when we first did this, because I could see you didn't have any hidden cameras anywhere. That's a big thing, because I don't want my face to be floating around just sucking a dick. Yeah, no, I know this girl who I used to go to school with. I think she opened an OnlyFans. And then one of my best friends was oh my god, she would be the one to open an OnlyFans. And 2 days later, she's I want to open an OnlyFans. And I'm bitch.
Also, what the fuck does that mean? She would be the one. Excuse you?
That's such slut shaming. I was just I know she's kind of like that, so I kind of ignored her.
Sure.
Because I'm just dude, just stop slut shaming people. I don't really care. People can do whatever they want in their lives. I like keeping my sex life private. That's a decision I have. Other people can be open with it and just shout it to the five skies, we shouldn't shame each other because I have a private one and she has a more public one, there's a difference.
So how about you describe to us that first time you came over here? Share with us, what was going through your mind on your way here? What was going through your mind
be killed.
as you got through the doors? What was going through your mind, when you're kneeling there with my dick in your mouth?
It was very nerve-wracking because, the entrance way to here is a basement. So, when I saw the washing machines, I'm is he gonna murder? Is it gonna be a sex dungeon?
You do realize people get murdered in the 7th floor too. They all people get murdered at various elevations.
Yeah. No. Well, first off, I was concerned about finding the place because you told me the address, right? And so I just saw the main entrance, with the stairs, and I was a side entrance, a side entrance. Where the hell is a side entrance? This is a flat, you're dab in the middle of the street. And then I see it and I'm oh, that's the side entrance. And then I come down and I'm just they're gonna murder me, right? They're gonna jump out of here. And then I saw everything, the lights were on.
But when you think I'm going into a basement, I'm gonna get murdered, why are you going through the door? That's the part of the movie where everyone screams, "Don't go in there! Don't go in there!"
I like to think of things, if you don't experience you you don't take a chance on life, you're not gonna live it. I don't want to be 80 years old thinking shit, what would I've done if I went through with the glory hole and didn't run away. So I was just you know what, if I die, then I die. People will find my body somehow.
They're gonna find my body covered in a sheet with a hole cut out of it. Yeah,
no, I was just we've made it this far. He seems like a conscientious person enough to ask me for my age and all that. He might murder me, he might not. There's a bigger possibility that he won't.
At what point were you confident that you were going to be physically safe?
When I had your dick in my mouth.
You're now I'm in control.
Yes.
I can bite down.
Yeah, that's the thing though. So I was if someone comes murder me, I'll just bite down on his friend's dick.
Yeah, I think you might be too young to know of a movie called Shawshank Redemption.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It kills me that you've said the sentence, "Oh, I heard of Shawshank Redemption." Everyone over 26 right now or 27 just vomited. They're "Oh, you heard of? It's a brilliant film." But there's a scene where one of the prisoners is about to get assaulted by a bunch of goons, and then he's I'll just bite down. And he's well, then I'm just going to shove the screwdriver into your head. And the guy explains oh, you shouldn't do that. And he explains how sudden onset brain damage can cause the jaw to tighten and clamp. And that basically your dick will actually come off if you murder me while you're face fucking me.
Dude, have you heard of Lorena Bobbitt?
Wait, I've been on the earth yes, I know who Lorena Bobbitt is.
A lot of my friends don't know who she is.
I know because you kids don't read, you just swipe through TikTok videos.
Excuse you. I'll read CNN once in a while.
Look, I'm sorry, and this has been a criticism I've gotten, but it also kills me. I remember the first college gig I did. I got to perform at my alma mater, NYU. It was during Hurricane Sandy, and they were putting on a comedy show. So I'm waiting outside the lobby, like waiting for the show to start. And some kids were like, "Oh, are you one of the comics?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And they're like, "Who's your favorite comic?" I said, "George Carlin." And
Who the hell is George Carlin?
You just greatly hurt my feelings. I'm like sifting through my records right now. I was like, don't say Lenny Bruce. She definitely doesn't know who that is. Richard Pryor, huh? George Carlin is like arguably one of the great stand-up comedians of all time. He died in 2008, so like I understand you were eating cereal. Yep. But yes, I'm familiar with Lorena Bobbitt and how.
Wait. Talking about cereal. This is something I ask like all my Bumble dates, like all my Tinder dates. I ask them, how do you pour your cereal? Cereal first or milk first?
Cereal first. What am I, an anarchist?
Okay, here's a weird thing. Like almost always, whoever like pours milk in first, they're guys, and whoever says like milk in first, I don't match with that. I like unmatch with them.
Yeah,
because that is poor like long-term planning. Because like you always pour in more milk than cereal, like. You always need to pour in more cereal or more milk. It's poor planning, you know? Like,
I think this is a very good filtration system. I think anyone who pours in the milk first is a fucking monster. I think they don't have a regard for their resources. It's just no.
Follow-up question. Do you like your cereal soggy or dry?
I mean, not like literally dry, right?
Just like you eat it immediately after you pour it.
Ideally, yeah, I do not like it soggy. I don't want it all mushy. Then it feels like carrots.
Okay, interesting. I'm still developing a thesis on that, so thank you.
Well, I mean, like, you've already blown me several times. You can't take it back, so, be happy with the answer or not.
No, because, like, I don't have enough data to make, like, a thesis on it, you know? Like, I don't know the personality of the people.
These are the issues of our day, everybody.
Cereal. It's a very great icebreaker, you know? Like, if you ever go on Tinder again, I give you permission to use that icebreaker.
I'll be sure to use that with the...
Wait, did you grow up with Dino chicken nuggets?
I remember those, but I was a very picky eater. I still am, but I'm better now. My sister loved Dino chicken nuggets. I never wanted to touch them. Sometimes, because if you didn't cook them enough, they got soggy. And then they were like,
I'm going to leave now. Goodbye. I can't believe
you. If you cook them enough, the breading got all like squishy and weird. Like, so at least.
Well, how did you cook them?
Cook them a little longer, make it crispy. Give me something to bite into.
I mean, we always did them in the toaster oven. Like.
Well, yes. Yeah, so sometimes if like mom undercooked them. That's what I'm trying to
you can pop them back into the toaster oven and be like, Mom, pop them back in.
I don't understand the intricacies of making stuff. I'm like, at the time.
No, my mom would like burn them half the time, so they made them extra crunchy. I love them.
This is a totally normal conversation to have with a stranger you just blew.
It's fun, you know?
When you left after that first time, what were your thoughts? How did you feel?
I was in this, like, I can't believe I just did that. And then I remember I went to Target afterwards. Because, like, I have to take the L train and then I have to take the N. So there's a Target nearby. And I was just, like, in one of my stops. And I was just like, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm going to get some dinner. And I was in Target. And I was like, do I have, like, cum on my face or something? Can people know that I just did that? And I was like, can I do this? Can I do that? Like, do people know?
They all know. Do I just reek of stranger cock right now?
Yes, that was like a thing. I was just like, do I smell like cock? Like, I think I know.
But yeah, so you were kind of like, oh man, like this is awesome. I can't believe I just did that, and I don't know who knows that I did it. And then you were like, let me come back.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like the first like sexual encounter I've had in a while.
One fan wanted to know, what did she think of your dick?
It was nice. It was clean. Big enough. I'm kidding. No, it was a nice length, nice girth. Because when it's too, like, if you were like way too big, like if you were like 10 inches or more, like I think I would have been scared. I would have like, what do I do with this? It was a good like way to like go back on the horse. Okay. It was a good starter dick.
It's a good re-entry dick.
Yes. Congrats on having a good re-entry dick.
Thanks. I've been told it oft.
It's a very average dick. Yeah, it was okay. Like nothing special about it.
When guys ask, I assume that like, especially I mean, look, I'm at a point in my life where like I know what I have. I know that's what I got. It's not changing, and I've accepted that, and I'm don't have qualms about it. But I imagine when they gotta get a little obsessed over it.
I had this guy once. We hooked up. We hooked up for like a long ass time.
So was he friends with benefits, or was he?
He was like an ex, but I'd like to think he's not an ex.
Right.
He had a small ass dick. Like, oh my god! Like I remember he sent me a nude once. We never like usually like when I send nudes, I like sending them. Like that's the pleasure I get. I don't like receiving dick pics because like if a girl sends me a nude, I'm like hell yes, yes girl. But when a guy sends me a dick pic, it just looks like floppy Play-Doh on his hand.
Well, now is it that you don't like dick pics, or you don't like unsolicited dick pics, and you don't like low quality dick pics? Because like I like to think that there are ways to make a dick look really good.
I don't like low quality dick pics, unsolicited dick pics, and like uncreative dick pics. I remember this guy once sent me a dick pic with like googly eyes on his head, and I was just like, hilarious. That is a quality A grade dick. But no, this guy, he had like the world's smallest, like he didn't have he almost had a micro penis, but he was just like, oh, it's really big, isn't it? And I was just like, he was a big guy. He was like 6'3".
And it's like, what do you say? You're saying like when the reality and what he's asking is so different, like what do you say?
Yeah. No, he was like, tell me I'm a big dick. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. And like it was always a big thing with him. And then one day, since we were hooking up constantly, I recently found out about dick extenders. And I made an offhand comment about it, like, oh my god, did you know these exist? And he's like, what, are you telling me that I need it? And I was just like, no, I'm sharing this discovery I just made.
But also, yes, that's what I'm telling you. And why are you being such a prick?
Low-key, yes.
Well, because like he doesn't look, the way you floated it out there sounds like the way I would recommend if someone asked. I'd be like, hey, just try, see if you can bring it up in conversation. If he like seems interested, awesome. If he gets really defensive, or if he seems disinterested, leave it alone. Because otherwise you just have to say, hey, I want you to use this. And that's not probably going to go well with a casual partner.
My friends with benefits, the ones I've had, they're very open. I'm like, oh, let's do this. And they'll be like, okay, yeah, let's try it. Or like, I'll incorporate like a sex toy and they'll be like, oh yeah, great. But like when they're really defensive about it, I'm just like, ooh, baby, I'm rethinking this because...
Well, remember that, I mean, like I assume you are mostly hooking up with dudes like in your age bracket.
Yeah.
Typically, right?
Here's the thing.
Well, I'm just saying because those guys, they don't know. Like it takes a while. You got to find out. For me, it was like sleeping with older women in college, but it's like, I think a lot of men of any age, but especially when you're young and new to sex and don't know better, you see the sex toy as the competition as opposed to the aid that it is. If anything, I'm like, please bring it out. It's going to make my job easier. Like my forearm will get sore. That Hitachi doesn't run out. It's plugged in to the wall outlet. So you're good.
No, and another thing I think too is that I'm not that experienced. Like I think I'll talk about like more.
No, you're done with saying you're not experienced. You went to a glory hole 4 times.
No, I mean like
you're no longer not
in
experienced.
the amount. Like, okay, how many bodies do you think I have? Like body count.
What is with this whole like this? The phrase has always made me so uncomfortable. The college age generation right now, Gen Z seems to like calling it a body count. I don't know if it comes from a rap song or young people, but like it sounds so uncomfortable.
I love it because it's like you'll ask them what their body count and be like, "What? People I've murdered, people I fucked," and it's like whichever one.
Well, you know what? You know what?
It's a fun joke.
You'll understand when this curtain gets pulled back, but like when you have my face, people seem to think you might have murdered people. Right? So when you get asked a body count, it's kind of not a fun question.
Now I'm curious. Like, what does your face look like?
You'll see it soon. Your body count, I don't know. Like, we're talking PIV?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't even interest me.
How many people do you think I fucked?
I have no idea. I couldn't even guess.
Guesstimate. From the way I've talked.
I refuse to participate.
You can't plead the fifth.
I'm a conscientious objector to the question and the concept because I've never thought that the amount matters. And I'd never.
It definitely doesn't matter. I just like it's very curious because when I talk about sex, people think like, "Oh my god, you fucked like 15 guys," and I'm just like, No.
Is 15 a lot or a little? I don't even see. That's the thing. It's like the answer doesn't even communicate anything because if everyone's operating on different like metrics.
Like 15 for me, since I started sex out later in life.
How long ago was that?
I'm gonna ask you how old you think I am, and then after you tell me, I'll tell you.
Oh, because you said you did a gap year, it implies to me, I infer from that information that maybe like you are 23 or 22, but you're still in school, which is why the gap year matters. Or
what if I graduated early?
Well, if you graduate, I don't know. You offered up the gap year information. That's all. Then maybe you're 21. I don't know. How old? You tell me. I got nothing. I can't see you. I have nothing. I couldn't possibly guess. All I know is that you're college age.
I like this. I like you. I like making you sweat. It's fun.
It's something's
this is really fun.
This is so weird. I'm loving it. I'm glad I had this idea. I've been thinking.
I am too. This is really fun.
Oh well, thank you for agreeing to do it. So when you left, you had this like bad bitch feeling. You came back a couple more times. So the last time you were here was the time that we not unplannedly fucked. And
okay, so let me tell you.
Do you want to just
this might be a question.
Okay.
So when you pulled back the curtain, I was so scared. I was just like, are we going to meet in person? Like, I'm not wearing lingerie. I didn't shave fully. Like, what are we going to do? And you were like, hold on, I'm going to put on a condom. I'm like, what's happening? Because like, I know that we suggested it like over kick, but we didn't like do anything concrete.
To clarify that to the audience was that I had an inkling that maybe kinda I'd be in that mood. And so instead of like asking you during a high pressure situation where like we are not established enough that I felt comfortable throwing that at you, I wanted to float it out there to see if it's on the table to ask. Because then I'm like, now I've created the container where I could maybe ask it. And you also know now that you could probably say no.
Yeah, no, I knew that I could say no.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted it. Trust me. Like,
At first, I told you to take your clothes off.
Yes.
I didn't even say I'm going to fuck you. I was just like, take your fucking clothes off.
I thought you were going to pull back the curtain, and I assumed you have like a couch there or something, and we're going to fuck on your couch. And I was like, oh, this is the end of the Gloryhole era. Okay, cool. I'm down with ending it this way. But no, you just pulled the curtain back up, and I was just like, what's happening?
I slid myself underneath.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna like fuck me through the hole. That's what I was scared about when you told me like, oh, why don't we have sex? I was just like, can I position myself enough to make this like effective?
Mm-hmm. Well, what was going through you seemed incredibly flustered. Even when I told you prior to that, I told you just take your shirt off because you had hinted you would love to even just like get
I wasn't
a nipple
like
touched.
I wasn't expecting it in all honesty. Mm-hmm. Like, I was kind of caught off guard. And I was like, shit, I didn't bring, like, anything cute today. I brought, like, a cotton bra or something. And I was just like, shit, I didn't bring anything cute. Not that, like, you have to, like, dress up cute for, like... I just personally like lingerie. Because I am kind of, like... I like people seeing me in lingerie. And I'm just like, yes, tell me I'm cute. Tell me I'm pretty. like...
So when I told you to take your top off, when I told you to take your clothes off, you thought I was going to pull this back.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm not prepared. Like, I am not ready. I did not bring lingerie. Like, did I even brush my hair? Like, I did, but...
When you finally realized, like, you were about to fuck, and you were going to fuck for the first time in, what, over a year?
Yeah.
About a year?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind?
I was like, is this really happening? I was like, this can't be happening. And then it just, like... I went on top of it and I'm like, oh shit, this is happening. Okay, cool.
Somebody asked specifically, I was going to let it go unasked, but someone wanted to know, did you come?
I did.
Oh, sick. Awesome.
Yeah.
I did. I was like between the curtain falling down, the weird situation.
It was like when you touch my boob. So my nipples are very sensitive.
Oh.
So I get off like on nipple play and breast play.
So that's why I thought you were asking for me to, I thought you were hoping for me to play with your tits because you were just like hoping kind of for something. I didn't realize that like playing with your tits is like the thing for you.
It is. Like
nice.
I come really easily.
Okay.
So
from the nipple stuff?
Everything. God bless me from being a hoe. Nipple stuff, like, yeah, at first, like, as foreplay, it makes me come, but, like, after a while, it kind of, like, gets boring. I come in, like with preventative sex,
Penetrative.
that
It's okay.
exactly. I feel like Nemo saying
Look, if your jaw is sore right now, like we all understand, you know.
Excuse you. We've lasted 3 rounds. Like my jaw is great. I think we both know I don't suffer from jaw
No,
problems.
you're fantastic. You got
I was like too deep into my thoughts. Like I was like, should I move my hips more? Like I haven't like been on top in a while. Like even like being on top, I haven't been on top in like like a year and a half, like 2 years. So like I think I was more in my head like, how the hell do I ride someone? Like, do I grind my hips? Do I twerk? Like I don't. That's how I think about the movements in my head. But yeah, no, I think I was way too much in my head to like really enjoy the whole thing that was happening.
You do seem very in your head because after a lot of the encounters, you would ask a lot of questions, and they were questions that I was like, I can answer these. The answers are not necessarily scary answers, but I was so much more curious, like why you wanted to know those things.
Oh, because I like.
It seemed like you wanted like a lot of validation on really micro things.
It's not the validation. It's more like, so the way I got really good at blowjobs is asking guys what they like and they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So since I've been off the wagging for a while, it was like, it wasn't for the validation.
Okay.
Because I mean, I made you come, so that was enough validation
Right.
for me. But it was more like, should I keep doing this? Because I tried a lot of new techniques on you because I've been reading a lot of smut. So I was just like, yeah, so I was like, do these techniques work so I could apply them in my other sexual life, like the rest of my sexual life.
Pray tell, what were some of these techniques you tried?
Like
I'm gonna open this Coke Zero you brought me, which is another. Here's a really
Not
sweet
sponsored.
thing. Here's a little sweet thing about. What did we say? It was Emma. I think.
I don't remember.
Here's a little sweet thing about Emma is I think the first time how did Coke Zero even come up? Did I say I was drinking Coke Zero?
I think so.
I'm a fucking weirdo. I think after the first time she came here, there were like multiple blowjobs, and in between. I must have gone
Oh yeah,
to the
you
table,
did. You told me like I'm gonna go drink my Coke Zero, and that's when it registered in my head like, oh, he likes Coke Zero.
Right,
it was like,
weird, because if I was you, I would have thought, why the fuck is he telling me what soda he's about to drink?
no,
After he
you know
busted
what
in
my reaction was? It was, this bitch drinks Coke Zero, not Diet Coke. Wow.
My rankings of those diet things, it's Diet Pepsi, then Coke Zero, then Diet Coke for me. Pepsi Zero, absolute trash. But so each time you've come back, you've like asked, you were like, should I bring you a Coke Zero? And I was like, that's very like subservient of you, and I'll happily accept. So like, yes, thank you. And also what's funny is you were not the first Gloryhole lady to bring me Coke Zero.
Oh, I felt special.
No. Oh, trust me, you are special. I think I used the word epic to describe sex with you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, granted, I was a little stoned. I'm sure that like aided in the overall encounter. But you read the story I posted on
Yeah.
Reddit, right? And so, what's next for Emma sexually? You just off to find the next glory hole?
I don't know how much I can share. So
no one knows who you are. No one knows who your friends are. You can share whatever you want.
My current friend with benefits, he's really into giving facials. So we have an appointment tomorrow, which is, I've been looking forward to it. I haven't had sex in like 2 weeks. So I was just like,
have I not been giving you facials?
No, I've been swallowing it all.
Is there a reason why?
I think it's because like my reaction times aren't that fast where I could like pull your dick out.
What would you say to someone listening, especially like a woman listening? What would you say to a woman who's listening and wants to try a glory hole or wants to try a similar encounter? Maybe it's something with a blindfold or whatever, but is a little nervous and justifiably scared too.
First things first, make sure like who you're gonna do it with is somewhat trustworthy.
Make sure they have like, I don't know, a podcast or something.
So, yeah, like make sure they're like, if you're doing this on Reddit, like make sure they have like not just like posts about fucking. They have other things too, you know. Guys who are just like, hi, I saw your post, I'd be like very interested. Mm-hmm. I'd ignore it. But guys who like actually made an effort into like putting like, oh, details and stuff like this, or they had like a not throwaway Reddit, mm-hmm. kind of call attention more. Mm-hmm. Because, like, it's like, okay, you took the time out of your day to, like, compose a well-thought thing. And I kind of know that about your life. So, like, if something happens, I can just send my friend this.
And it makes you seem more real, possibly more serious. Like you're not going to be flaking. Flaking's a really common thing, especially with like internet hookups where you're having all these plans, and someone just doesn't show up. But it's like when someone's really themselves, I find that you're going to probably get someone who will like have the courtesy to cancel, for example. And so I really encourage people to stop using the throwaways unless there really, really, really is a good reason why you need to use that throwaway. Because being yourself, like the fact that I'm using my real profile that has like my real karma, that has my real posts that have nothing to do with sex, I think that like rounds me out to somebody. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no. I remember like when I saw your you had a picture, and I was just like a meme, and I was like, funny meme. But yeah, no. Find someone that you can like kind of like take note of who they are as a person. Also, like, send your friends texts. Like, make sure you have like a game plan of what happens. Research different ways. That's what I do. Like, from your house, I know 3 different ways to get back to my house, or like get back to like a populated area. Do that. Like, always have a backup plan in case like, you have to run. Wear comfortable shoes the first time, because if you have to run, you have to run.
If you gotta run, don't wear flip-flops that day.
Don't wear heels, don't wear flip-flops. Another thing too, try everything once. I have the idea of try everything once, because like I don't want to be 80 years old and being like, oh my god, I wish I could do this, but my hip won't let me, like, or my knees won't help me. Like, you're only 20 once. Like, have these experiences.
Are you 20?
Shit.
We caught it.
Like, I'm in my 20s.
Me?
I'm in my 20s.
Yeah. You're in your 20s, or are you 20?
I'm in my 20s.
Okay.
That's as much as I'm going to tell you.
All right. Here's a weird question. What if I'm ugly? How will that make you feel?
My friends say I have really terrible taste.
Like, you're going to have to go back to your friends and be like, I fucked an ugly guy.
No, my friends already know that I fuck ugly guys. They're
like, par for the course for you. How about you let us know when you finally fuck a hot one?
Yeah. No. I had one of my guy friends vet you.
Oh.
So he's like, love yourself, dude. And I was like, what?
Wait, what did he say?
Love yourself. Like, find someone hotter. And I was like, huh?
Oh, wait, your guy friend looked me up.
Yes, I sent him your Reddit and he looked you up. Like, he was just like...
He didn't think I was very pretty.
Yeah, he's gay. So he was like, he's gay, so I trust his opinion because he has really high standards.
Okay.
Nothing to do with his sexuality. He has very high standards.
Okay.
And I'm just like, he's just like, I sent him everything. I'm like, did you vet him? He's like, dude, love yourself a little more. And I was like, what's that supposed to mean? He's like, he's ugly. Do you want me to send you a picture? I'm like, no.
Wow, he just flat out went ugly. I bet you your friend has like hashtag no fatties, only whites on his fucking Grindr profile. He
doesn't.
I'm kidding. But
he's really nice.
He called me ugly. He and I are at war.
No, you said to be honest.
Okay. So when this curtain gets drawn back, though, you have to promise you're going to be honest. If I am ugly to you, you have to promise me you will say so, because don't you dare rob me of that honest moment on the show.
You too, man. Like, if you find me unattractive, like, you're open to saying anything.
This is also my show where like I put my entire life out on the internet. Like, you're allowed to like not have to know what I think. Like, no,
it's fine.
Like,
dude.
I have to put myself in this position, for the entertainment of strangers on the internet.
But
you're allowed to.
It's a two-way street, dude. If you find me unattractive,
but that's what I'm telling you. It's not a two-way street. You're allowed to not know that information. Like, I have
to
do this for work. But do you? Because like, what if I pull this back and I'm like,
too bad, applesauce. Like, too bad, sweetie. Like,
that wouldn't upset
I'm not
you.
I'm not your type. Everyone has a different type. Like, I know friends who are like really hot, and like, for example, they're not like this really hot guy. They're like, he's not my type. Or like, I know guys who are interested in me, not my friends, and I'm like, how? My friends are really hot. Like, they're like, you're my type, and I'm like, huh? What is this? So I know people have different types. I won't take it personally. I find you ugly. No, I'm kidding. If you find me ugly, I'll find you ugly.
And then it's just retaliatory.
Yeah.
Where'd you get all that confidence from?
I mean, I still pull guys somehow, so that's
No, I mean, no. I'm not questioning. It's because again, like,
no, that's where I put my confidence. Like, I'm like, if people find me attractive, then I must be attractive, you know? Like,
you take yes for an answer.
yeah. What? Huh?
Well, it's just like my issues. I didn't take yes for an answer for a long time. I still struggle with that. I had the woman who took my virginity. I actually had on this podcast years ago, right?
Uh-huh.
And there wasn't a glory hole involved. It was just like a normal interview.
Yeah.
and she really nailed it. So we had sex when I was 18. It was summer after high school. And that was like right before I got to college and really started to come into my own. And she said, we were talking about like how odd I was acting and how shy I was acting at this party at her house.
Uh-huh.
And she said, I don't think you realized how attractive you were. Most of my life has been me not thinking I am as cute as some people think I am.
I mean, I have my days too where I'm just like, ew, no, like, how can people like me? Like, it took me a while.
Mm-hmm.
It took me like the first 2 years of college to like know, like to come into myself. But then I realized like,
You're 21.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Well, now that you're pushing back so much, yeah, even more. Sorry, continue.
Are you positive? Are you sure that I'm not lying about my age? I could be 30 and tell you that I
would
took
be
a gap
fine.
year.
See, I don't know why I thought you were 29, but that must be a different glory hole visitor.
Damn.
Yes, I am also surprised how many people came to this ridiculous curtain.
Damn, like that is impressive, dude. If I had a dick, I'd do this too.
It's like, yeah, if I had a dick and I was as ugly as you, I would also put up a curtain.
No, because it's like fun because you don't know who's on the other side. You know, it's fun and you get free blowjobs, so
Yeah,
it's a win-win.
big fan. I highly endorse.
Yeah.
Thank you, New York City Department of Health, for the recommendation.
But what was the question?
I mean, I don't think there was necessarily a question, but I was just saying that I admire that you take your, when people are interested in you, you're not constantly trying to figure out reasons why they shouldn't be attracted to you. You're like, well, I must be hot because they think I'm hot, so now I'm hot.
Yeah, no, like what I used to do back in the day was like in my Tinder, my Bumble, I used to like do like shoulder up pictures or like chest up pictures. And I do my whole body, and I'm like, they know I'm chubby, they know like I'm fat or whatever. Like, if they want me like that, shoot. And I like still there's an initial like nervousness in the first like encounter, because like maybe thought I was skinnier than like my profile picture. But then like everything goes fine, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like I'm honest about who I am. They're attracted to me, so why shouldn't I be able to enjoy this? You know, like if I'm gonna be like uncomfortable with myself my entire life, it's gonna be boring. Because I'm gonna be second doubting everything I do. Good
for fucking you.
Yeah, it took a lot to like get to this point. But now I'm just like, I'm cute enough. Like people find me interesting.
I'm like Billy's dick, just enough. I'm
average. Like I remember my friend asked my friend because so for me, like when people like tell me I'm like, tell me this, tell me that, like rate me this or that, I don't take it personally. Like I see it, I'm very like data focused.
You're just like, I'm just getting the intel. I'm
getting the intel. Yeah, like I don't take it personally. When I'm asking you, it's like I want this feedback, I want this data. When people are just like, yeah, you sucked, and it's like, what? When did I ask you? First of all,
this is not constructive criticism. Yeah. I'm okay with criticism. I just need it to be useful.
Yes, it's like when it's like you suck. It's like, huh? Like what do you want me to do with it? Like, did I suck fucking you? Did I suck sucking you? Like,
yeah. I've got my notebook out. I would like to know the finer points of where I sucked.
Yeah, like, and so you're telling me that instead of gyrating left, I should gyrate right. Okay, good. Like that is data I can use. So like in the future or with different hookups, like I can have this data, like, and head like, okay, guys, like, more when you gyrate left than when you gyrate right, sure. Or like, when you do your, like, you put their dick against the little ridges on the top of your, like, the roof of your tongue, like, the roof of your mouth, sorry. So, yeah, it's like, for me, it's more like data recollection and like being a better hookup, you know, being better at sex, because when you both enjoy sex, in my opinion, it's much better. Like, I hate it when I'm the only one who's orgasming and the guy isn't, and I'm just like,
wow, how often is that happening? That must be a nice life.
That happened once.
That is not the common woman experience I hear.
No, that happened once. And what happened is that I stopped enjoying myself because I tried to aim to please him because he would never come. And I was just like...
And you know now by now that there are some dudes who just, it has nothing to do with you, and it's just their
it's like
struggle with ejaculation.
Yeah, it's like performance anxiety. But what happened is like they wouldn't tell me this like beforehand. But this guy wouldn't tell me beforehand, and I'd just be like, am I not doing anything right? Like, are you not enjoying this?
Right.
And it would take me out of my pleasure to like be like, we need to both be like enjoying this. Some people, like you said, like hand jobs, they like oral, they like masturbating themselves while you do something else, you know, like mutual masturbation. Like, just because they ejaculate with like penetrative, like P&V sex isn't always the norm. And I prefer it when someone tells me like, okay, you know, like upfront, like, I don't ejaculate with like penetrative sex. Like I ejaculate if you, I don't know, bend over the couch and read a book. Or like I'd be like, okay, you know what, we can do that. Because for me, sex is like the mutual enjoyment. Like you have a good time, I have a good time.
So before we do this reveal, do you have any questions for me?
How does it feel like having a podcast?
That's the question. It's fun. It's a living. I enjoy talking, arguably too much. So it's a good fit for me. I get to talk about the topics that I'm really passionate about, like, you know, sexuality, gender, love, gloryholes, you know, the things that are like really important in my life. But having podcasts is fun. Was that all you needed to know? You don't have to have questions. I was just...
I thought of a new one. Are you nervous about this reveal?
Not really. I'm less nervous now hearing you and your personality. I think my impression of you was a much more nervous, more timid person. Because we exchanged so few words out loud, and a lot of them had to do with stuff like, "Oh my God, do you need this? Do you need that? Should I get you a Coke Zero? Do you need anything else?" Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just it gave me a different perception of your personality. So having this is really like rounding that out, and so now I'm less nervous because you know,
I'm gonna be like super like, oh my God, if you don't like me, then I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to like get into a depression session.
I didn't think depression session, but like I was a little nervous I was like, look, I already self-flagellate professionally on the internet. So like I was prepared for like, if she's not interested, that's more than fine. That's also why I was like, I wanted to take things off the table. So that way, no matter which way it goes, you know? But no, I was a little nervous. So like, well, if I wasn't attracted and she wanted to know that and insisted, and I have to give her a negative answer, is that going to like really kind of like fuck up her day or not? I was a little nervous about that. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Yeah. Unless it's funny.
Damn, you're mean.
I'm not mean. It's just like I think like funny is first, and then a lot of other things are third.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. Like seriously, don't worry about me.
I mean, I'm not worried now. I'm just saying going into this, I was a little more nervous than I am now. Now I feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
You seem great. You seem confident.
I'm a little bit more worried about you.
I mean, no. How about we just assume I'm an ugly chud? I don't know.
I don't know. So again, my friends say I have horrible taste in men.
Okay.
So
well, then you'll probably be just gaga over me if you have horrible taste. What did your friends think when you first told them you were going to go to a glory hole?
I only told like 2 friends.
Right, the 2 safety friends. What did they think?
So my gay friend was like, "Yes, girl, get it." And my other friend's like, "Are you crazy? You're gonna get murdered." And I was just like, "I don't care."
That's a nice spectrum. That's real.
It was one end. He was like, "Yes, get it." Like, you know, like YOLO, you only live once. Nobody says YOLO anymore. But I was just like, yes.
Really attacking my culture. Really attacking me.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 31. I'm a healthy 89 millennial.
Okay, boomer.
Here's how dumb and ignorant that statement is. I don't even think you realize that there's a generation in between boomers and millennials.
There's
Gen
X
right?
and Gen Y. Yeah.
No, millennials are Gen Y. We call ourselves millennial. It's called millennial. I'm pretty sure that's right. I might be wrong. I'm
oh yeah. So it's boomer, Gen X, and then y'all millennials, and then
Gen Z.
Wow.
Meanwhile, boomers just think anyone under 25 is a millennial, and so that's also ignorant, but whatever.
Yeah. It's just, no, it's fun because you know the ongoing war between millennials and Gen Z, right?
Yeah, because y'all are fucking mean.
At least we don't identify ourselves through Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Slytherin,
But you
Ravenclaw,
do.
Callus.
But y'all do.
No, we do astrology.
No. No, y'all do the Harry Potter shit too. Like, so.
Not as much as y'all.
So your friends were you had the two input. One was hell no, one was hell yeah, and you were like that averages out to go for it.
Yes. No, it's more like whatever. Like I know I'm in charge of my body, and my sexuality. Whatever I do is like up to me.
Mm-hmm.
With my friend, we have an ongoing bet of how many guys we can fuck, which is kind of like not a real bet, but I'm very competitive. So I'm
Who's
like
winning?
Right now he is, because again.
Oh, it's him versus you.
Yes.
I didn't even realize. See, I was just assuming it was a him. Is it a him who fucks hims?
Yeah. So
that's unfair. Like it's hard to compete. But I also don't know who does have it easier.
I mean, since we're both college students, we go through
Right, you're both horny college students, and you're a chick who fucks who fucks in part dudes. Which
I fuck girls too.
I picked up on that. So you in part fuck dudes, which is kind of easy to get if you really want to win a bet, and he can fuck dudes every hour if he really wants to win a bet in New York City. So that's an incredibly slutty bet and proposition.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, he's winning by one person because he's done 3 and I've done 2, and it's just like now we're at a stalemate of like there's so much stuff to do with school. Like,
and this is why you want me to set up the gangbang for you so you can win the bet. That's wise. That's smart. You can get a bunch out in one go. Emma, Janet, whatever her fake name was for you.
I like Janet.
Anything else before we conclude?
No, let's do this, man.
All right. How do I want to do this? Oh gosh.
Okay, if you want, let's stand up. Let's do this dramatic reveal.
Okay. Well, hold on. Give me the mic because I'm gonna switch off a setting real quick. All right. So we are going to do a reveal with Emma. We are going to find out who we fucked because we had no idea. Because of COVID stuff, but you've had your shots. I've had my shots. Are you cool with a hug regardless of how this turns out?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So on the count of 3. 1,
2, 3.
2, 3. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for blowing me several times.
Thanks for fucking me. This is so weird.
Do you have any reactions you want to share?
You're a little older than what you normally go for. You're a little older.
As in I look older or my age is actually older?
You look older.
Oh, man. I don't know if this means you had good or bad taste. I don't know if your friend was right or wrong.
He was wrong. You're really pretty cute.
Oh, stop. Thank you. You are cute yourself. I like how that things come together. I'm a big face person, so it was also like I can't feel a body or even just see a body and like automatically know like what I want to do with that information. So like I had a lot of context clues like from the last time when we hooked up. But I was like, I still don't know what the face is, and that's very important to me. I also thought you were going to be I did pick up that you were like on the taller side of things.
Yeah.
I did pick up on that.
I think we're like the same height.
Yeah, we're about the same height, but like just, like for a woman, you are taller than the average. So I remember the first time, like when this is drawn, I can kind of see a silhouette when the lights are on. So
all the lights are open.
Right, so like you were like standing outside the bathroom, I was just like, oh, so that she's definitely a tall. And also, when you are giving the head, I could tell even from the beginning that you're kind of coming from like trying to go down.
Oh my God.
I could tell that right away. That it was like, oh, she's higher than she wants to be. Like, I need to be taller here.
Dude, I remember like after the first blowjob, my back hurt, my butt hurt. Like, it was a workout. I was like, what? The next day, I was like, why does my butt hurt? And then I was like, oh, because I've been like kneeling for a few minutes last week. Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I know some of you might be thinking like, okay, Billy, well, like what happened when you turned the mics off? And I'll just be like, you should be hanging out on our Discord server, the Champagne Room, where I share our Sexual Achievement Sundays every week. Ha ha! Join us in the champagne room. Join the conversation. Connect with like-minded, sex-positive individuals, and even catch a few sexy stories along the way. There are channels for all sorts of topics on our server. And hey, if you're one of those people who thinks like Discord is scary and new and you don't know how it works, I promise you, I was just like that 6 months ago. It is not that hard. Come join us. Come give it a try. Head on over to manwhorepod.com/Discord or click the link in the show notes. Of course, you should be following me on all the socials. I'm sure most of you are. I am at the Billy Procida. Everywhere you could follow me, except Instagram, which is dumb. I'm at Billy is Procida over there. Look, my socials, they're always in the show notes of these episodes. You know where to find them. Just like you know where to find my Patreon if you want to support this podcast. If you want to help keep condoms on my cock and lights on over my head, head on over to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. April 17th, everybody. Don't forget it. Don't miss it. Our ManWhoreCon info session. It's April 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You want to get that link. You want to get that invite. Join my mailing list. Shoot me an email at manwhorepod@gmail.com. I'll make sure you get the link. Patreon, folks, just make sure your notifications are turned on. I promise you won't miss it either. Next week, I have... Wow, I just have like a kick-ass guest. When I was done recording with next week's guest and I got back to my car, I like screamed. I fucking love my job. I mean, getting a blowjob and then doing a Gloryhole reveal is pretty fucking great too. But connecting with people like my guest, Batsheva Marcus, next week, ooh, y'all in for a treat. And if you stick through the very end of this right here, you might even get a bonus treat too. But for now, everybody, stay slutty. It's the vibrator that has no equal. And now, Motor Bunny offers their thrusting sex machine, the Motor Bunny Buck. Enjoy a fan whore discount at manwhorepod.com/motorbunny or use promo code manwhore at checkout.
Here it comes. Oh.